5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
There's a lot to like about these old Olympus cameras, especially the EM-1. What you're getting with this is a 16 megapixel image stabilized beast of a DSLR. It's about to rain, but I'm not worried because this is a weatherproof body. One of the best ceilings on the market, might I add. So one thing I like about this camera, well, Olympus in general, is that they take care of their clientele and they look after their old cameras. For example, the EM-1 here has had a series of updates since its release almost 10 years ago, giving it some great new additions such as live composition and bracketing modes in camera, and we're going to try that out tonight. Now, speaking of tonight, because it's a micro four thirds sensor, it's not really known for its low light capabilities. So you can't really bump the ISO on this and expect great results. But again, like my Sigma video with an asterisk, if you know what you're doing, you can still get pleasing results regardless of the time of day. This little button here, it's not like you'd see on a Sony or a Nikon body where you press it down and you twist the dial. You just press it like a pen and you unlock it or lock it. It's kind of nice. Olympus really likes their pens. Also, e-bike. I'm having so much fun on this. It's my new little photography companion. If you're interested in my e-biking adventures, I made a separate channel for that. Spare change, check it out. We're gonna do a lot more weird Amazon reviews and lifestyle stuff on there. More personality related stuff that I don't want to put on here. So back to the program. So a quick walk around of the EM-1 here. So the body's made out of a magnesium alloy, fully weather sealed. You only have one SD card slot, so if that's a deal breaker for you, I don't know what to tell you. Have a tilty screen for your high-low shots. And you also have a mic jack, which is nice because not only did the latest firmware updates with this camera add the bracketing and stacking modes that I was talking about, but it also added updated video features such as variable frame rates, better focus peaking, and made incremental improvements to the stabilization of video. Now, after using this camera, it's really hard to nitpick and find anything bad about it because there's just a lot of good things to say, especially for the price point. I found this one for a little bit under 300 bucks, so the going price is roughly around there. And I do feel like this is criminally underrated because it's such a sound body and there's not a whole lot wrong with it. Focus works very nicely because it uses a hybrid system of contrast and phase detection. I found that when I even adapted my Canon glass to it, the focus didn't skip a beat. It has that 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor, which is more than enough for your social media posting, great for portraits and even landscapes. And if 16 isn't enough, then you can also use your bracketing modes and get higher resolution images that way. I feel like a lot of people overlook micro four thirds, especially if they're looking for something for photography, because when you first get into this, people always just assume that because it's a full frame sensor, it's gonna be better. But it's never about the paintbrush, it's about the composition and how the composer finds it. And there's so many benefits to having a small system like this. I mean, sure, the size is pretty beefy. It's about the same as my A7 here, but the lenses themselves are where you save a lot of the bulk. This is a 45 f1.8, so it's the equivalent of a 90mm lens, and it's so tiny. Here's my nifty 50 pancake lens. Here's my telephoto, and this is so much easier to carry around than my Canon glass. But if I wanted to use that, I very well can. I can grab a speed booster, connect any of my full frame lenses to this, or I can go vintage and I can use my Jupiter lens here, or I can get weird and I can use my C-mount lenses. So what I'm getting at is when you go micro four thirds, you just have a crazy amount of options when you want to use lenses for the system. And that's even more so than your full frame mirrorless systems like Sony, and they have a wide variety of options you can do with that short flange distance, because when you get micro four thirds, you can use these tiny little lenses because the sensor's small. You won't get any weird vignetting. A lot of the lenses and accessories for the micro four thirds system can really fit in your pocket. This is my mic system and this is my flash, and this can just be thrown in my jogging pants without a care in the world. One group of people that I really think could benefit from the EM-1 in particular, wildlife photographers, because you get that nice crop and you can carry around a telephoto lens that doesn't weigh over 5 pounds, and you can be out there longer and not have to worry about getting fatigued from lugging around heavy, hefty gear. So to recap on the specs, you have a 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor with in-body stabilization, one of the best weather sealings on the market for a price point of around $300. You can adapt almost any lens under the sun to this camera. And although the body's big, you're going to save a lot of weight in your bag because the glass you have here is a lot smaller than you get from any other system. So is this a good camera in 2021? Of course. I can't really find any negatives to this camera, honestly. And I really appreciate companies like Olympus when they update their old gear like this so it can still compete with cameras of today, which this one does in spades. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to sub because that really helps the channel out. We're almost to 1,000. Any videos, suggestions, questions, comments, leave them below, or go to my Instagram and engage with me there because that's a lot smaller and I have more of a chance to respond in an adequate amount of time. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.